Jelani. Imagine finding out you's a daddy. Instantly falling in love. Add a baby girl to the family. For this baby girl, baby boy, I give the world. But for some reason, I've been excluded from her world. Last time I saw her, it's like she said something wrong. She wouldn't let go and asked me to follow her home. I wish I could have followed. Now in sorrow I'm on. Another bottle reached the bottom. Wonder if she'll ever return. Will she ever know me? Did they lie about her roots in a race pop dukes? I'm so confused. How does a human choose to do another human so cruel? Sing so low, it's not cute. To rip a daughter from her dad, the things I could have taught her. Not to mention all the love she'll miss that. She was daddy's little girl on our daily call. She would tell me so as I work, she put on a show. Now the memories is all I got to keep going, along with hope, as I try to cope with not knowing. But baby girl, best believe daddy is a beast that'll never cease till we reconvene. Man, I can't believe this reality. First I lose my dad, then my mom. Losing you just shattered me. Losing you's been such a travesty. Jelani, wherever you are, you're half of me. Forever your dad, forever half of me. Forever your dad, baby girl, ask for me. Forever's the plan when you are back with me. Forever your dad, you are half of me. Forever your dad, forever half of me. Forever your dad, baby girl, ask for me. Forever's the plan when you are back with me. Forever your dad, you are half of me. Jelani, wherever you are, ask for me. I'm sure there are plenty of scars from the sudden abrupt pull of the bond of a daughter and dad. A sad tragedy. Yes, you're mad if you're asking me. It's like a horror flick where the villain is winning and fuck the system. I see them as her co-defendants. I only offered love. Now I'm serving this sentence. Can't make up the time. Every second is precious. My love is forever. I promise it's endless, relentless. I pen this. It's just me trying to vent, comprehend what a mess is. Hope the press pick this SOS signal of distress quick and get me closer to my goal. If my daughter in the fold, in my life be the brother, I would die. In my family, there wouldn't be a dry eye. You would see me cry. Why would I try to hide? Jelani, hope you know for you I give my life. For you with Marcus, my true love, the apples of my eyes, you are my legacy. If you forgot my love, hope this helps you to remember me. Forever your dad, forever half of me. Forever your dad, baby girl, ask for me. Forever's the plan when you are back with me. Forever your dad, you are half of me. Forever your dad, forever half of me. Forever your dad, baby girl, ask for me. Forever's the plan when you are back with me. Forever your dad, you are half of me.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining Gab with Goldnbronze. We have with us today Logic DGC from the Bronx. Thank you, Logic, for joining us today.
What up? I appreciate y'all giving me this opportunity to come introduce myself and my music and my cause right now.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Logic DGC from the Bronx. He
DGC?
moved DGC, right?
You got it,
yeah. who moved from New York, Amsterdam, from high school years, started rapping as a joke on all the ice rappers. First rap name was Ice Pick in a group called Ice Tray. He started to take rap serious after feedback of Ice Tray's songs. Went to prison for 4 years for carjacking. He came home and moved to BK and formed next label Jailbreak Records. He had tons of mixtape success from 2004 to 2008. Dropped Jailbreak Records, presents Logic the Ghetto Celeb. That's what the DC.
Got it. Yep,
DGC stands for.
Exactly.
He had tons of features and shout outs from legends in the game: Lord Tariq, Sonny Caesar, Pitbull, Lil Raz, Capone, CNN, and more. Stepped back and moved to Newark, New Jersey in 2009. He did some acting and started getting into multimedia bits. Is that what that stands for? It's BTS.
Biz. B-I-Z, I think it meant to be.
Okay. Did some acting, and started into his multimedia biz. Was manager of radio station Rejects Worldwide. In 2018, he moved to Orlando after finding out he had a daughter. The mother disappeared once courts granted him visitation rights, and that's what this show is all about. In 2019, he opened a multimedia facility in Orlando, Florida. He had a recording studio, podcasting studio, an event hall, and he's also into custom clothing. In 2019, also the last year that he saw his daughter, he was unable to take her to court because he had to serve baby's mother who vanished and he didn't know where to serve her at. I remember hearing that on another podcast show or live TV. He put himself on child support, continues to pay the child support. In the interim, putting together an album, a short film called Chronicles of a Regular Dagula, including the single for his daughter.
Regular Degala.
You'll have to tell us what that is. Including the single that we just heard that he made about his daughter, Half of Me. Her name is Jaylanis. We'll let him tell the story. But after releasing a mixtape album, part 2, Ode to the New, the Lost 2 Time collection soon, third release late this year, next year, Logic DGC and Friends, new tracks for people he did songs with throughout his career and present surroundings. We welcome today Logic DGC. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you again for this opportunity.
Yes. And we welcome you, all the audience members. And we want to let you know that this interview will air Saturday, June 22nd at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Times on the following places. Take note. We'll tell you again at the end of the podcast. Gab with Goldnbronze on YouTube, Goldnbronze on Facebook, Instagram, and X, Golden Swan Cadre on Facebook, and the official _ Golden Swan Cadre on Instagram. So listen for this podcast, June 22nd.
Yay! Thank you.
I'm your co-host, Mickey G.
So, Logic, tell us the story behind the story that we just heard about, please.
So so basically, as you know, I found out that I had a daughter out here in Orlando, Florida. It's around 2018 and stuff. I had actually left Rejects Worldwide Radio and started to venture into the have-nots, which is what I do now. And was doing that. Had no intentions of moving to Florida, nothing like that. Never even crossed my mind or nothing like that. But then, I got a call from my daughter's mother, Jacqueline Guerrero, and she's like, hey, I think you might be the father of my daughter. Can you take a blood test? Do you mind doing that? DNA test. And I was like, sure. Did it right away, found out it was, and I raised my son, from when he was 6 months old. I've had custody of him from he was 6 months old till he was 15 years old, which is when I moved down here. He didn't want to come. He decided to stay up there, and I didn't want to pull him away. So I said, fine. But, I'm a daddy kind of person, so I jumped at the opportunity to have my daughter, in my life and be somebody for her, somebody with experience in life and love and all that kind of stuff, and be a role model for her and stuff. And if, it was cool at first, but it seemed like the closer my bond with my daughter was, the more she wanted to interact with me, the more that I wanted, to introduce her to my family and stuff like that, the more, her mother seemed to get upset and not want to do things like that. So I knew, I was like, I'm going to have, in order to do this, I'm going to have to, because I'm going to have to go legally through the legal court systems, and that was the worst decision ever. But once I did that, they did some mediation. She didn't follow the mediation rules. And I was telling the judge, whatever you guys do, it's not going to work. She's not listening. She clearly doesn't care, what you guys can do to her, which is nothing, by the way. They can't do nothing to her. Even to this day, there's no penalty for what she's doing. So it's the weirdest thing. So I go and
It's contempt of court.
Yeah, but it's a really, it's just, I spoke to the judge, the one time that I was able to get in front of the judge, and they were like, yeah, the most that's going to happen is that when it comes to it's a writ, which is called a child pickup, which means if she ever gets into, and who knows if that's really just in Orlando and this area. I don't even think if it happens anywhere else, it even matters. But technically, if she gets stopped for a driving infraction or something like that, this is supposed to alert the authorities of a child pickup, and then at that point, yes, she does get arrested, but only until she gives up my daughter. which has now become a traumatic thing for my daughter to have to experience. You know what I'm saying? If that was to be the route that this ends up going, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're going to bring her all the way down here from wherever she may be. And the last thing I heard, they were in Pennsylvania. You know, she said that she was in Pennsylvania. And then I tried to do all the legwork at that time when I did have an address over there. And I tried to get the sheriffs over there to serve the warrant. They were like, oh, this is a Florida thing. We don't know. We can do this. I spoke to the child rights people. I spoke to everybody. Nobody knows the law. Nobody knows how to handle it. I spoke to lawyers. They're like, hey, there's no need to get a lawyer now because wherever you find her, you're going to need a lawyer over there. You know, it's not going to be just over here. You're going to be wasting money to do that. You have to find out where she's at. And then I tried getting a private investigator. They were unable to locate anything about her because I don't have much information on her. So it's just been tough, you know. So now this, you know, I've been doing my business here, you know, trying to keep my head up and not stress too much about things and just, you know, keep moving forward, hopefully build something that I can leave, you know, my kids and stuff like that. And, you know, I kind of started getting the itch to write again. It's been years since I've gotten into music, really. You know, I kind of retired in like 2008, 2009. And, you know, I started just doing the behind the scenes stuff and things like that. And I got the itch to write again because I'm around a lot of people that do music. And it came out one day, you know, I wrote the song and it just came out. It wasn't even the plan to write a song about it or anything like that. It was the beat came out. I heard the beat. I decided to write this. The first line came out. And then the next thing I know, I have a whole song about the situation. People have heard it here and I've seen people get emotional, you know, and stuff. And they get emotional literally in front of me with tears in their eyes and stuff. And so I was like, you know, maybe this song is powerful enough to maybe make a little bit ends, you know, headway and get somewhere where maybe, you know, she's 8 years old now. I haven't seen her since she was 3, you know, so it's like, well, she's about to be 8 in a month. I haven't seen her since she was like 3. So, you know, I think she's at the age too where something can fall on her ears. You know what I'm saying? She might have a little tablet. She might have something and it could end up, you know, she might check her name one day. You know, that's why part of the name, the song's name is her name, you know. So if she ever Googles her name or whatever, it'll pop up, you know what I'm saying? And she'll be like, what the hell is this, you know? So,
So
go ahead.
can I ask you a quick question? Does she know how to reach you if she does hear the song?
My daughter probably doesn't even know who I am anymore. She was 3 years old when I last saw her. I almost doubt she'll know me at 8 now, you know, unless her impact was strong, you know, like because the last day I saw her, we went to an ice cream shop, and that part of the song is true. Like I'm buckling her up, and she held onto my hand. She'd be like, "Can you follow us home?" You know, and I was like, you know, I was like, "No, I can't do that. You know, I'm gonna see you. Call me when you get home. We'll do our little, you know, call. You're good." And she would not let go. She was like, "No," was getting ready to throw a fit. You know, and I was calmed her down. I was like, oh, don't worry, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to see you. It's all good. We're going to call. And, you know, and they drove off. You know, that was the last I saw of her. So
something wasn't right then. She didn't want to let go. That was like a red flag, you know, that something wasn't right. And what your baby's mother is doing is a form of domestic abuse. It's emotional abuse. Imagine what the little girl is going through.
Yeah.
She knows she has daddy, now he's gone.
Exactly. So that's the point, you know, like I think if that was a very tough time, because we were talking before that happened, we were literally talking like this. My daughter would call me. I could not work, you know, I do graphic design, social media marketing, you know, podcasts and everything, you know, so I've got a busy day and stuff. And she'd be right there on the phone with me, you know, putting on a show, like I said, you know, letting me know she's my daddy's little girl and stuff. And she would be like, you know, and you could tell she was scared to like show, you know, like she would like look to see if her mom was looking and be like, I want to go, you know, with you. And, you know, but I don't think, you know, mommy get mad. She's going to get mad. So, you know, I could tell she was probably like, oh, you know, probably telling her, you know, stop that. You know what I'm saying? When I let you see him, that's good enough, you know?
Yeah.
Now, Logic, I heard you say on another show that you said her name and I forgot what it was, but it was about money. She would ask you for money to pay her car note or
not the car note. She would just make it like when I asked her, you know, I was like, hey, my mother really wants to meet her granddaughter. Can I take her over there? And she was like, oh, once I get, my car needs 4 tires. I got bald tires. And I was like, all right, I got a car, that with no bald tires. And she was like, oh, that's not what I said. I said my car. She can go when I have my car, when I take her. You're not going to take her. I'm going to take her.
Wow.
So do you think that was the whole purpose for seeking you out, letting you know, is so she could have some financial assistance?
100%, because when she told me, like, she didn't even want me to like move. Like, she didn't even care about that aspect of it, unless it was going to be right away and I was going to be right in the fray giving money. So I needed to, transition. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to need a couple months to get myself together. I'll give you whatever I can here and there, because I'm not expecting you to just put a child on me out of nowhere. Like, you've had a year and change to because she was a year when this happened, my daughter already. And I just know it just came shocking to me. Oh, 1 second. I think my camera might be going.
We can see you.
I might have to switch it. No worry. I just got to switch it.
What's the problem?
1 second.
Oh, he's frozen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We see you. We see you. So I have a question. What was your relationship like with the mom? Was it contentious to cause her to probably run?
No, we had no issues. Like, there was nothing. The only issue was that she wanted, like I was saying, when I was like, I'm gonna move down there, and she was like, yo, I don't care about that. Send me some money. I need help with the baby now. Now's when I need it. And I'm like, look, give me a little bit of time, because I'm not generating money. I just left Rejects Worldwide Radio. I invested into my business. I don't have loose money sitting around to just give you. Let me get down there. Let me get the job going, and let me get going. So boom, within, I think, February, we found out it was my daughter, and by August I had moved down here. I had everything down here. I had an apartment. I had a job. And I was giving money as much as I could, even when I was still in Newark, New Jersey. And when I got here, right away, I started giving weekly, $70, $88 every week. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And but then, eventually I had to do it the legal route, because, those type of things, like, no, you can't see her unless, this or that, whatever. So it was like, I'm giving you money and I'm still not getting.
Right.
And I thought the courts were going to be able to help with that. But instead, they kind of like made it easier, and now there's nothing like I can really do about it. Like, it's like
that sucks, because you're tied into that for 18 years.
Yeah, well, I'm totally fine, with that. At the end of the day, the way I look at it, I'm supporting my daughter. At the end of the day, she knows wherever she was at any point in time. I know, because I will say this, I don't consider her a bad mother in terms of like caretaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's gonna care for the kids. She has 2 kids. She's put with them first. I'm not saying like she's in danger or nothing like that, but I feel like, one time she told me, when I was like, this is messed up. You know what I mean? Like, she needs her father, and she told me, for what? I grew up without a father, and I'm just fine. She literally told me that one time.
Wow.
So I think her trauma that she don't realize is trauma is affecting, my relationship with my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy to me the way she could just look at it like that. But that's where she's at, mentally. Her family, jumped on her side with everything, and I don't know, man. I don't even know if I'll ever see her. I'm hoping I do. I'm hoping this song maybe goes viral eventually, and maybe a lawyer sees it. Maybe somebody wants to do some pro bono work, because I got my business, but it's like I'm self-employed with this. This is all that brings in the money here. You know what I'm saying? So it's just paying. It's making money to pay bills.
Well, I'm tied into an attorney that had a nonprofit that supported men. It was the opposite of what we kind of women helping women, but we look at all domestic abuse situations such as yours, and we personally have someone in our family, Mickey is my cousin, that her brother went through the same thing, the exact same situation. But he will see this podcast, and maybe I'll speak to him and see if he'll reach out to you and see if he can help you or advise you on what to do.
Yes, I welcome any and all help. Like, I'm open to everything at this point. There's nothing I'm turning down. Everything, anything that I can do. To at least, not have to wait till she's like 20 something, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But maybe find me or something at that age or whatever, you know.
Right.
And like I said, on top of it, like I pay still child support to this day right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's money too that I'm also dishing out. So it's not like, you know, I have just to save, oh here, let me throw this over here.
Right.
No, I'm handling as all my responsibilities, you know, and it's just so hard to be able to do anything unless something like this pops off and the song does very well, where I can put money towards it. I do got a video coming out soon for it. You know, we're getting ready to work on it probably this weekend, it looks like. And hopefully that gives it momentum once people get a visual
Right.
out of it, you know, maybe
Yeah.
that checks me out.
Yeah. Yeah, the song is beautiful. It moved me when I was listening to it, and it's probably the plight of a lot of fathers. And so this is going to be instrumental for a lot of fathers, not only you and your daughter, but it's going to be instrumental for a lot. So I have a question. So what do you think prompted her to run? Was it something in the courts that they mandated her to do, and she wasn't willing to do it? And she
they gave me the regular weekend visitations and holidays and everything. And when I went, you know, for my first visitation was May 28th of 2020. And I go to the door and her parents are there and they're like, she disappeared. We don't know where she's at. And I was like, yeah, you know where she's at.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. You know, I was like, you know, she's going to get in trouble for this. But little did I know that she's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen to her for this.
Well, in some states, something would happen to her. Unfortunately, Florida, it doesn't. But I'm trying to figure out what would prompt her to reach out to you to let you know you had a daughter, then to turn around and say, I grew up without a father, so I'm fine. So what was the purpose?
She just wanted the money. She just wanted, if I would have been stayed in Jersey and just paying the money like that, I would have probably been talking to my daughter every day on the phone, no problem.
Yeah.
But she could have still had the money had she not run, you know?
She's still getting the money.
Exactly. So what's the point in running?
She didn't want him. She doesn't want him to have a relationship with his daughter, which is not right.
She doesn't want me to be like physically with her. She don't mind it being a distant relationship, but she didn't want it. And you know, to an extent, I understand because we were never a couple. We were just grown-ups doing grown-up things, and a situation came out of it. Right. But you know, I think I did everything to show, you know, who the kind of guy I am. You know what I'm saying? And what I was willing to do.
And you raised your son. So
I raised my son. You know,
I commend you for that, for being.
He's in the Navy right now. You know.
Yeah,
he's
wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So
Congratulations.
Thank you. But, you know, it's just. I understand it from different, but I just think it's a drastic measure, and I think that, you know, she could have did more. There were better ways to work it out, you know, like at the end of the day, I felt she didn't like that my daughter, like when I was around, my daughter would be like, oh, you know, let daddy do it. You know, like I want daddy to do
she
this.
got jealous.
I think there was a lot of that, you know, like, oh, come on, no, I'll do it. I'm gonna do it real quick. He'll do it next time, you know. She'll like, you can tell like she would like always come to me. I got pictures like it was like love at first sight in a way. Like the minute me and her were together, like she was very right away, you know, like wanted to give me hugs, and like I could tell she felt the love. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
every little girl falls in love with her daddy.
Exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah.
You got the dad is the first man that we fall in love with. You know what I mean by that.
Right. Of course.
But if you have a good dad, you're gonna look up to him and you know, admire him, and he's gonna be the example set for her, for the daughter, for the man that she wants in her life. And sometimes other men can't hold up to that father. You know what I'm saying? So
and her opinion of me, you know, weighs a lot, you know what I'm saying, on me. So that's why, you know, I'm even work harder than I ever have. You know, I do multiple businesses. I do a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, just so that when, you know, she does pop, even when she was around, you know, I would always let her know when she would 10 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, she's already on the phone, and she's trying to be on the phone like 8 hours straight, you know, and we got to like cut her off because she just wanted to be on the phone and talk to me the entire time. And I would let her know, like, hey, you know, this is what I'm doing here. Look, I got to work. Daddy's got to work because there's bills. You know, I would always already telling her things that people might say, oh, you can't tell kids. I believe that you let kids know what the real world is right away. You know, you let them get used to it. So it's not traumatic when they're now exposed to the world. You know,
Right.
feed it to them, you chew it up for them, and you give it to them in bits and pieces, but you give it to them, you know,
Right.
and that's how I was with her, and she loved it. You know, she loved hearing to me. She would expand on what I was saying, and oh, because you have to pay that, right? And the car, right? You have insurance on your car, right? Yeah, you know, like things like that. So it was, you
Or you
know,
shouldn't buy that car, or
yeah,
like my dad,
so
you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that.
yeah, at
All
three
the
and a
way
half
up
years
to
old, you
Yeah.
know. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
what I'm hoping is that that impacted her enough that for at least if she was able to grieve my loss for a little while, then she might still remember me. But if it was like her mom distracted her, like, oh no, he's coming tomorrow, and you know, and it just kind of like faded away,
Mhm.
then it could be where, you know, she doesn't even remember, you know. But luckily, I
Yeah.
have tons of pictures. You know, I wish I
Right.
took more videos and stuff, but not even pictures of like real pictures, but of our screenshots of our daily
Right.
calls. You know, like I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
like not hundreds, but I have
Lots of them.
tons of
Yeah.
them. You know,
Yeah.
so
Elijah, can you tell us her last name? Is it the same? I mean,
well,
if
yes,
somebody
it's
out there
Guerrero.
knows a Jaylon,
Yeah, legally it has been changed by the courts. I think that hurt the mother's feelings as well too. So her real legal name is Jaylanis Yvette Anglada Guerrero, but she's
Guerrero,
more likely going with by Guerrero, which is her
Guerrero.
mother's last name.
Jaylonis Guerrero. Anybody out there, if you ever come across a Jaylonis Guerrero, please show her this YouTube podcast and let her listen to the song, which we'll play again, so she can find her daddy and so her daddy can find her.
Right.
We
Yeah,
Right.
and mainly in like the Central Florida, Kissimmee area, and maybe Pennsylvania in PA. I had once tracked her down at that time. Somebody helped me a lot in the child support office, and they like gave me some original paper documents because she's supposed to update her address wherever she goes to them so she can continue receiving the child support.
Right.
So
they she's at Logic because they're sending the child support, and
they
for the court
know.
to not help you is not, it's not good,
Yeah,
because
I've
Yeah.
tried all of
they
that,
know where
and
she is.
they know
Yeah.
exactly where she's at. That's what I'm saying. In the song, I put, you know, I see them as her co-defendants in this. You know, like
Yeah.
they're literally to me, you know, implicit in this whole situation because I've paid over in just court applications about a good $600-700 just to file them and to pay the sheriff to go serve, and they're like, oh no, she's not there. Oh no, that's not where it's at. Oh, sorry, can't see you. They'll respond to me like, your application has been denied because you weren't able to serve her because the sheriffs were not able to find her, and they don't give you the money back. They're just like, oh, try again,
Yeah.
you know. And I did it
Right.
over and over again. I tried not paying child support to get in front of a judge. They did, and I got in front of that judge. They were like, if you don't have, only thing we care about is the money right now. If you don't have anything to talk about besides the delinquent child support that you owe, we're going to hold you in
Wow.
contempt of this court. We're going to suspend your license, and then you're going to have to refile to see us in court again and to see us in court
What?
again.
So you
And
would be in contempt, but not her.
exactly.
That is
So I'm just like,
That's
so
unreal.
that is
it's
unreal.
crazy that a guy like, I can go, if I go 2 weeks without paying child support, I'm getting letters in the mail already that my license is going to get suspended and that I could potentially get arrested. You know, and there, here she is, almost 5 years now, 4.5 years gone by,
Wow.
and they're like, "Hey, man, tough cookie." You know, like tough cookie.
Wow.
It's sad. I know it's sad, but it's the system. They tell me like that too. There's nothing the system can do. I'm sorry. I'm like, but aren't you guys the system? Like, who votes for this? You know, like my
Yeah.
next step is trying to write a letter to the congressman or the mayor here or you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
one
Because
of these
it's
politicians.
Did Logic to do that, and I'll inbox you my attorney friend's information too, so you can reach out
I
to him
appreciate
and
that.
see if he could at least give you some
Advice.
guidance,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
on what to do, because that's what he did. Is he took on men that were having problems with getting custody of their children or even seeing their children.
Yeah,
And I
visitation.
believe he went through it himself. That's what spurred him to start the nonprofit, just like we're victims and survivors of domestic abuse ourselves. So we
Right.
started a nonprofit to try to eliminate or eradicate, we know we can't do, but we're working on that to put programs in place to help people that are victims to become survivors and thrivers. So he did that on the flip for men. And so maybe at least he can give you some guidance. Or, I don't know if he'll do it pro bono, but I know he can guide you.
A conversation is good enough
having.
for me, it can go from there, so I do appreciate that 100%.
Okay.
What's so beautiful about this is that Jaylanis will hear this. This will last forever.
Yeah.
And the song will last forever because things that are on the internet will last. And she'll know that you fought for her for years. And hopefully it won't take much longer than this, that this will help you find your baby, put a spotlight on where she might be. Someone listening somewhere will be able to know, about that. So when your song comes out, where will it be played?
It's out. It's now on Spotify, Apple Music. It's on all streaming services. It's everywhere. It's
okay.
Everywhere.
I guess I meant your video.
The video is gonna be shot more than likely this weekend. As of right now, that's this Sunday, actually, to be specific. And then it'll probably be 2 weeks after that, maybe about 3 weeks after that. So. Yeah, about 3.5 weeks. You figure the music video should be released. I'll send you a copy or a link at least where you guys can check it out, and maybe
I'll play it on we'll play it on our live stream and YouTube channel. It's like a follow up to this podcast interview.
Yeah. All right, sounds good, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we want to see good fathers with daughters.
Yeah,
that's very important to her development. To have your input. Fathers are very important to daughters, and it's time that the country and the courts understand that, because fathers lose a lot of ground and a lot of rights that they should have to impact these children's lives. And she's federal; she's crossed state lines.
Yeah.
And I don't understand.
And I'll say this, like the kind of music that I put, like the type of influence I would be, is a person that doesn't rely on anything, like the system or anything. I make my own money. I get up every day and I do what I have to do. I don't wait for nobody to provide me a job or nothing like that. I'm out here building my stuff, and I would like to teach her things like that, and also not to fall victim to, following the crowd, like things like that, things that I've been through that I can give her specific examples. Like, yes, I've been young, dumb, I did my stupidity. I ended up losing 4 years of my life, and and the guidance, and even because I don't even believe in the school system, they don't teach people to be independent thinkers and growers. They want you to just either be part of the work system or the prison system, so for me, I don't want her to just look at the world like that and be limited. I wanted to give her the whole, look, you can do whatever you dream of. You can do it at any day. I feel I lost so many years also because of the school system. I thought you had to be like a worker first and build. You don't. You can really literally start doing what you do right away. You can literally go ahead and get yourself a little trade and to make extra money and do stuff and build your business and stuff. You don't have to go and just make a career working for somebody else 20, 30 years, 40 years.
That's what they instilled in us. They
that's the system.
For years. The system.
Yeah. But that's my goal. That's one thing. I'm writing a book actually because I'm trying to break even not only her but everyone out of the system. I want everyone to see that life is short, and put it like this: the retirement age for the new generation coming up is going to be 70 years old.
If not older by the time Jaylanis is
But for right now, the generation after me is going to be 70. Guess what? The life expectancy of a man on average is
72.
And a woman 79. You know what I'm saying? So they don't really expect you to be on retirement for long. You're going to be old trying to, and yes, people are in better shape at 70 and stuff like that nowadays, but you really gonna wait that long? It's you should be wanting to be free from work by 40. By that time you got a business, you have something established where you're bringing up the next generation of entrepreneurs and business people.
That's right.
I got a book coming out on stuff like that, on like the government and just the way it's ran. We should be learning in school how to live in our lives. Everything else should be electives. It should be about paying rent. Work the jobs you can get, your skill sets, things like that. The mortgages, taxes, your local laws, laws in your community, stuff like that, so that you're a part of what's going on around you and you're aware of it,
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so look for that too one day.
And what you're talking about, being self-sufficient, that will impact her self-esteem.
Yeah.
That she can do something, she can build something because she watched you do it.
Yeah.
So this is very important for Jelanis to be found, so she can get that input from you, because you're a positive role model for her.
And she can see also, I'm a minimalist as well, so I'm somebody that can do without. You know what I'm saying? So like the kids are brought up, and like if they don't get everything, they're like, that's the new trauma. Like, oh, I didn't get a big TV, or I didn't get the iPhone, and they're traumatized by that. Like this is what's scarring these kids nowadays.
Or if you take the phone away from them.
Yeah. I want to show her things like, hey, you know what? There's always something else. You don't need anything from nobody, from nothing. You can literally do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? And just learn to live without. I've literally slept in my businesses on couches as I built myself up. People are like, oh, why don't you tired of that? You don't want to get an apartment? I don't need a couch. I don't, like a nice house. And that doesn't matter to me. My goals matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just built differently than most people. Like, I bought myself beautiful cars, BMWs, and all of that, and people around me have been more happier for me than I was, because it didn't do nothing for me. I was like, this does the same thing my Honda does.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really that impressed with it. I mean, it's nice and it looks sexy, whatever, but it once I get over it, like, what, I'm gonna be like happy like that for a day or two, and then what? I'm just driving around in a car.
Yeah, I've become a minimalist. I have.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. To me, it's a beautiful thing, like when you don't need to wear certain type of clothing. Like I wear only have-nots clothing, honestly, or other independent artist clothing. I have no interest in wearing any fancy stuff or anything like that. It just doesn't interest me, I'm atheist, but Jesus wore scarves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jesus wore scarves. Don't worry about it. We're all beautiful people regardless of what we believe.
I'm just playing with you.
Yeah.
It's like that broke my heart.
Don't you worry about it. I consider myself the Christian atheist, and because I do, and that's another reason why I'm not Christian, because I don't see Christianity anywhere on earth, from where from when I've read the Christian, what Jesus says, about turning the other cheek, like the Bible Belt people, they're the main Christians, but they talk about guns and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And Jesus says, turn the other cheek. When every rich person came to Jesus, he didn't say, you want to know how to get to heaven? He didn't say, give some of your stuff away. He said, give it all away. And I haven't found a verse where he said, hey, be the best you can be. And technically, from what I get from Jesus' teaching, is you shouldn't even have a refrigerator, because if you have food to store, you have food to share. Like that's the vibe Jesus gave me. You know what I'm saying?
And this is really true, because we are supposed to. That's why we do what we do. We do more for other people than we do for ourselves.
Right.
But let me say something. Let me ask. Do you think that could have an impact on why she disappeared? Is she a Christian and doesn't want her daughter around?
Well, that would be worse. Right? Don't you think that a Christian would act that way? I mean,
but
I don't know.
But I'm not saying that it's right. I'm asking if you think that could be.
I don't think so, because we never got into that kind of conversation. And from what I know, she's like a passive religious. Like she just believes because it was brought up like that, but she has no real, religious.
Sound like it's all about that.
It's just about money. It was just about money. So she was just going to get money, and I wasn't going to rush down here and be a daddy. I think that kind of like threw it all off and stuff. And then at one point, she did kind of like, and it was because she was not having, she was having rent issues and stuff, and she was kind of like throwing the idea that we should be together and stuff like that. Yeah. But honestly, I was not just going to do that just to do that. I don't believe that's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Right. It just makes things, you have more problems at the end,
Yeah.
I was just trying to be platonic, pay the bills, do things the legal way, do things the right way. And, you have her birthday parties with her in your world, and I'll have birthday parties with her in my world. We don't have to be united like that. We don't have to be everything. Just do the best for her on your end, and I'll do the best for her on my end.
And that's the
Yeah,
way that it should be.
that's
Yeah,
right.
So, Logic, we're going to wrap it up here pretty soon,
no
but
problem.
I want you to, I always give everybody that graces my stage an opportunity to talk about themselves, what they're doing, their business, kind of free advertisement,
Yeah, yeah.
if you would like to take a few minutes to do that.
Sure, sure, sure. So I own a multimedia facility in Orlando, Florida. I've got a recording studio, a podcasting studio, and an event center here as well, where people can throw their own shows, their own parties. It's literally for the 9 to 5 person. Have-nots is what it is, the ultimate platform for everything independent. I not only just do music and stuff like that. If you're a business owner and you need guidance and you need help, if you need money, any type of business services, I do them. So I do social media management. I do graphics. I print shirts. We have a storefront in the front. So if you know anybody that has clothing gear, it's only for independent artists, independent clothing. So if
Right.
you know anybody that wants clothes in the storefront, guess what? I'm doing it on consignment. I'm not even paying rent. I'm not even charging rent for it. They can put their stuff up there, send posters in and all of that, and I have this stuff looking real nice up there.
Ex-
Um, yeah, I do. I'm working also on my own like Netflix type thing. So I'm looking for content for people, independent artists that want to have their stuff on a channel. Also got a couple web series coming out and working on movies. So if you have actors, videographers, anybody that want to get in contact with me, got an idea and stuff like that, I'm your guy. And of course, anybody got music and stuff like that, I have a radio station, Have Nots Indie Radio. You can check that out on TuneIn Radio. And you can probably just Google Have Nots Indie Radio, and it's going to come up because it's syndicated on over 30 websites. So, yeah.
Tell people how they can find your store
Yeah.
or you.
Yep, you can always just Google Have Nots Entertainment, Have Nots Studios. There's a bunch of stuff up there, but we got on Facebook. You can always do Have Nots Entertainment. In fact, just Have Nots Entertainment everywhere, or Logic DGC. You'll get a lot of me. I've been putting in work for a long time, so I'm all over the internet. And yeah, my Instagram is Logic_DGC to get directly at me. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I have one other question. You see this logo up in the top right corner?
Yeah.
Do you make T-shirts for like our organization if we wanted T-shirts with that logo on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna reach out to you because I'm trying to get a bunch made for us.
No
Okay.
problem. And I'll be the best price out there. Trust me. Everyone tells me, when people sometimes drop the price, when I give them the price, they think it's the deposit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, you're an impressive gentleman. We're so glad that you came to join us. And let me remind everyone of where this is going to air and what time. Logic DGC. This interview will air Saturday, June 22nd, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Mountain time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find it on Gab with Goldnbronze on YouTube, Goldnbronze on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Also, Golden Swan Cadre on Facebook, and the official _ Golden Swan Cadre on Instagram.
And we are going to play another snippet of his song, ladies and gentlemen. If you find or meet a little girl named Jaylanis Guerrero, please reach out to Logic DGC.
Or the local authority.
Or the
I'm okay
local
with that.
authorities. So he can find his little girl. What this lady is doing is a form of domestic abuse / violence. It's not violence, it's more emotional, mental abuse. And it's not fair to Logic that she would let him know that he has a daughter and then take her away. So we want to help him find his little girl. Every father needs his daughter. Every daughter needs her daddy. And so we want to thank you, Logic, for joining us today. We will, when you get us that video, play it on our YouTube channel as well. And, who knows, maybe I'll repurpose this video and put it out there a couple of times for people to see, and on the Village Global Network, where we have 200 radio stations, 4 countries that we air on every other week on Mondays.
Awesome.
So we're going to play your snippet. Everybody, thank you for watching Gab with Goldnbronze.
Imagine finding out you's a daddy, instantly falling in love. Add a baby girl to the family. For this baby girl, baby Paul, I give the world. But for some reason, I've been excluded from her world. Last time I saw her, it's like she sensed something wrong. She wouldn't let go and asked me to follow her home. I wish I could have followed. Now in sorrow I'm on another bottle, reach the bottom, wonder if she'll ever return. Will she ever know me? Did they lie about her roots and erase pop dukes? I'm so confused. How does a human choose to do another human so cruel, sink so low, it's not cute to rip a daughter from her dad. The things I could have taught her, not to mention all the love she'll miss that. She was daddy's little girl on our daily calls. She would tell me so as I work, she'd put on a show. Now the memories is all I got to keep going, along with hope as I try to cope.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, it's a wrap.